Yes guys, Coach Sam here, and we're going to be going through a chicken sausage tray bake. Yeah, one edit wonder, here we go. As you can see, I don't know my way around the kitchen too well, but I'm lucky enough to go out with Mel. So guys, if you can't cook, get yourself a girlfriend that can, okay? That's my #1 fitness tip for today. But yeah, this is actually a tray bake, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one that we actually stole from Muscle Food. I bought the meals off Muscle Food, and Mel was intelligent enough to buy the ones just go in the microwave. I bought the ones where they send you the recipes, and this was a recipe that I actually put together. It's quite easy to cook. Even I didn't mess it up, and I actually repeated it a few times tonight, and I executed it just right. But I don't know the name of it, but I know how to make it. So we got the chicken sausages. No, they're the Heck ones.
Heck chicken.
Yeah, we've got the Heck chicken sausages. Now the benefit is of these, they're a lot leaner. Sausages that are pork sausages tend to be very, very high in fat. So if you do like pork sausages and you want to do this as a treat, you can. Just be mindful. You know, some sausages can contain up to about 15 to 20 grams of fat per sausage. Okay, and with this recipe, we're probably going to have a good 5 or 6 sausages each. So you know, you can do the maths on that. You're going to be going well over your calories, especially when there's 9 calories in 1 gram of fat. Okay, so yeah, if you're going to do this recipe, the chicken sausage is very lean, very, very high in protein, and yeah, they're a winner. They taste really, really good as well. So over to Mel. She's going to take you through the chicken sausage tray bake. Tray bake. Okay, let's have it.
Okay, so this is one of our favourite recipes. Like Sam said, we stole it from Muscle Food and we've made it so many times. It's really easy to make. I'm using the Heck chicken sausages. These are really low fat. I think it's something like 36 calories per sausage, which is great. We've got a couple of potatoes, 1 courgette. I use a bag of carrots. I use the whole bag from Asda, much easier than chopping myself. I find they cook better because they're chopped evenly. And then for the gravy that we're going to put on a bit later, we're just going to use 1 red onion and a couple of chicken stock cubes. So I'm going to start with the main bulk of this recipe. What I would recommend is taking the veg out of the fridge. If you keep it in the fridge about half hour before, if you remember to, just because it cooks a bit better. And try and chop the veg fairly small and evenly, again just to help with cooking time for this recipe. So I'm just going to chop potatoes. I'm just going to pop these in the tray. You want to get a baking tray that's about that size, that fits everything in without it being too piled on top of each other. It just helps with a nice even cook. Next I'm going to use my courgette. I like to kind of make little half moons with these. I like to keep them fairly chunky. If they go too thin, they can get a bit soggy, as I have found. We'll see how they go today. Then I'm going to put the carrots in as well. So to season this, I'm going to use a few sprays of Frylight. I'm going to use some salt and pepper. You can do this to taste. And I like to use some Italian herbs. Guys, a great tip is to make sure you are stocked up on herbs and spices. It's really easy to throw on some chicken or veggies or meat just to make things a little bit more interesting. Especially if you're getting used to cooking from scratch from home, it can really elevate a meal. So once I've done that, I'm just going to give it a mix through. So as you can see, I've got quite a big pan. If the pan was half this size, they'd be piled on top of each other. And I want to try and create as much space as I can. So that will do. And then I'm just going to pop the chicken sausages on top. So the way that I like to do this is pop this in the oven for about 25 minutes. Take it out, give it a stir, another 25 minutes, and then when it's done, we'll make our gravy to stir over the top. So I'm going to pop this in now. I've got the oven on about 200, and yeah, we'll give it a stir in 25 minutes, and I'll show you what it's like midway through. So it's been 25 minutes. We're going to see how it's doing and give everything a bit of a turn. Okay, so this is looking good. I'm literally just going to go in and flip everything over. Just to make sure we get a nice even cook. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that we keep the sausages on top. I'm just going to turn them over to the other side. And then I'm going to put this back in for probably another 25 minutes. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit because we want everything to brown off. And then when that is done, I'll come back and show you how to do the best bit, which is the gravy.
Okay guys, we've got a helper in the kitchen. Sully's here, so do you want to finish off this recipe, Ma?
Yep. So I've just turned the oven off because it's done. We're going to finish off with the gravy, which, like I said earlier, is the best part, and it's super easy. So I'm going to chop up a red onion. I'm just going to turn the hob on. Some fry light in a pan. And then just chop one red onion. It doesn't really matter how you chop this. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to boil the kettle because I'm going to use some hot water to cook down the onion. So how do I want to chop this? I'm just going to... There we go, so that's one half. I'm going to do the other. My happy little kitchen helper. Okay, so I'm frying these off in a hot pan. I'm just going to let it get a little bit hotter and I'm going to throw some boiling water over it. All we're going to add to this are 2 chicken stock cubes. They're not the jelly ones, they're kind of the cubes. And then we're going to cook it down until you get the consistency you want. I like quite a thick gravy. If you like it thinner, just add more water. So this sounding good. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of hot water over just to start with. And when these start to cook a bit more, I'm going to add the stock cubes in one at a time and let this all cook down nicely. Okay, that's starting to heat up again now, so I'm going to add the first stock cube. Just going to let it melt down. There we go. The hot water helps cook the onions down as well. This is just what we want. As you can see, the water's reducing down a bit as well. Okay, now I'm going to add my second stock cube. Tiny bit more water. And again, we're just going to do the same thing again. We're going to let it melt down. And then I'm going to see if I'm happy with the consistency. If not, I might add a bit more water. And then when this is done, we are going to just pour it over the baking tray, mix it all together, and we are good to go. I'm just going to add one more splash of water, let this reduce down, and then we're good to go. Okay, that is perfect. We're going to turn this heat off, and then we're going to get our bake out of the oven. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I am literally just going to pour this over and then I'm going to mix it in. And there we have it, guys. Like I said, it's one of our favourites. We're going to dish this up now. Super, super tasty, super easy. You can use, obviously I've used chicken sausages, you can use meat-free, you could even use chicken as a substitute if you wanted a healthier option, or turkey, any type of meat. And it makes a very tasty filling recipe.
Voila.